Okay. So, a couple other things before we move on from the pH scale. I just want to talk about how we, the language that we use around going from one pH unit to another. Right? So if we were going from a pH of 1 to a pH of 4, right? Are we getting more acidic or more basic?
More basic.
More basic. Does everybody see why? Even though we're still in the acidic range, right? Going from a low pH to a higher pH means we're getting more basic, right? Everybody comfortable with that? Oops. My beautiful pH scale. So let's say we were going from a pH of 13 to a pH of 10, right? Now what's happening to us?
We're becoming more acidic.
Yeah. Right? So it's not necessarily always about whether or not you're on this side of 7 or on this side of 7, right? It's about relative change. Does that make sense? So if you start out at a higher pH, and you go to a lower pH, you're becoming more acidic. Right? And if you go the opposite direction, if you go from a lower pH to a higher pH, you're becoming more basic. Everybody okay with me there? Cool. So this is another kind of number line like the oil rig, right? You guys remember the number line for dealing with oxidation numbers and how it's kind of a little weird how we talk about it. So if you're moving from high to low, you're becoming acidic. If you're moving from low to high, you're becoming alkaline or basic. Okay? It doesn't mean you are a base or you are an acid, right? Just means that that's how the change is happening. Okay? Questions about that? Cool. May I erase? Cool. So there's one last thing we got to talk about today, and that is what the heck is pH representing? So this is where we get into logarithms. Yay! So these little brackets here indicate concentration. So this means the concentration. My daughter's being a terrorist today, you guys. She just woke up as a terrorist. I don't know what happened. Of hydronium. And when we're talking about concentration, we're talking about the molar concentration, okay? So, everybody needs to know how to do a log in their calculator, okay? So if you do not know how to do that, this is your opportunity to check yourself, okay? So, what is the pH of a solution with hydronium ion concentration equal to
I got 7.824.
Yeah? You guys agree?
Yeah.
Sounds reasonable to me. What do you think?
Easy peasy.
I love that. Okay.
Does it get harder?
Not really. I would say that pH is probably the easier of the calculations, but going from pH to the acid concentration is a little bit harder. Okay? But
Alex, that might be a rounding thing, like in your calculator.
Oh. Yeah. That's a little weird. Did you put in 1.5 times 10 to the negative 8th? How are you putting, let's talk about that later. We'll talk about that afterwards. But yeah, I'm guessing that that has to do with how you're putting in the exponential notation. Yeah. Oh, my calculator? Ooh, I don't have one. Somebody else want to hold up their calculator?
I can do it again.
Don't text me right now, Alex, because I won't get it, but I can talk to you about it afterwards.
So this is, can you see that? Negative log 1.5.
Yeah, that looks reasonable. Mm-hmm.
And the edge of that.
Yeah. But yeah, Alex, we'll talk about it in just a sec after we're done with this part. But I wouldn't mark you off for being at 7.9 versus 7.8. That's pretty close. Okay.
Like, I'm trying to figure out, oh, there's log. Just found log on my
Nice.
calculator.
Yeah. It's usually a secondary function for a lot of people. Or yeah, it's up in one of those hidden corners that you've never used before. Yeah. So generally speaking, the log and the anti-log are usually on the same button. One is the primary function and the other is a secondary function. You don't need to know what an anti-log is, but you will need to know this formula. Okay. So, when you're given pH and you want to know what the hydronium concentration is, it's as simple as taking 10 to the negative pH. So, if I have a pH equal to 8.5, what is my hydronium concentration? So we're literally putting the pH in as a negative exponent on the 10.
3.16 times 10 to the negative 9.
Beautiful.
did something wrong.
Okay.
Me too.
Because I got 0.00000000003.
Yeah,
I did too.
that's because you're not in scientific notation on your calculator.
Oh.
Right? That's the same number. No, you got it right. You just don't have it in scientific notation, so it looks hideous, right? Yeah, all those zeros, all those stupid zeros.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I got that one, but not the first one. So not this one, Kata? Yeah, so usually there's a button like this. Oops, sorry, you can't see me. There's a button like that. And usually right above that button, there's a button like that as a secondary function. Right? So you click second, log, and then you'd put in negative 8.5. And then again, if your calculator's not in scientific notation, it's probably going to give you something with a million billion zeros, right? So putting into SciNo makes it a lot easier to see, right? I know you guys were like, oh, I was never going to need to know this again. SciNo, bah. How we doing, Stephanie?
I'm getting like completely different numbers. I don't know. I will seek help after this. I don't want to take more time up here.
Cool. So yeah, so we can talk more about calculators. Yeah, that's perfect. You guys can text me afterwards, screenshot style, and I can tell you exactly what you're doing wrong. This is the hard part with different calculators have different buttons. You know what I mean? So without having me like right there, I kind of have to do this on a texty basis. So yeah, for those of you who are watching the video later on, if you're not getting these numbers, then text me, okay? I can help you figure out how to get these in your calculator. So I think you guys can agree this is relatively simple in terms of the calculations. It's just figuring out how your calculator needs to do it, right? Everybody okay with that?
See.
Cool. So that's pretty much it for chapter 10, okay? There's a lot more to chapter 10, but we're not going to go through much more of it. I will talk about some more of the conceptual stuff that I think will pertain to, especially if you're going on to 130 on Wednesday. But mostly what I want to do on Wednesday is do some more problem solving, okay? Good God, Alex. That's what I got to say
I'm
about
taking
that.
it in the fall. No, I'm scared.
Yeah. Summer is much scarier.
Yeah.
I just wanna, because I know, Alex, I think you and I talked and you kind of have to do it during the summer, but I just want to like generally say that I would dissuade anyone who's thinking about taking it during the summer to maybe wait until the fall, because it's harder than this class. Yeah, if you want to ask me more questions about why I feel that way, then I can talk to you off the record. Oh, also, I'm not going to help you guys with 130, just by the by. Students are always like, are you teaching that class? And I'm like, no, I hate organic chemistry. I don't hate it. It's interesting. It's very interesting. But it's extremely pedantic. Do you guys know what I mean by that? Like, you know when people talk about chemistry or science people and they're like, oh, yeah, actually, it's this, not that other thing that you were saying, right? There's a lot of that in organic chemistry. So where I think in general chemistry, I get, yeah, that makes sense. And there's nothing wrong with it. And I totally get why people are interested in organic chemistry, but it's hard for me to get over the minutia So that's one of the subjects that I usually, or that at this point in my career, I've never taught, and I probably won't teach until they force me. So I like teaching Gen Chem. It's more fun to me. But it's a fascinating subject. It's really interesting. Not trying to tell you it's not, but just saying, if you're like, hey, Danica, can you help me with this 130 problem? I'm going to be like, probably not. I will get it wrong, maybe. I don't know. So. Yeah, that makes sense. Hell on wheels. I get that. Yep. See, you know that it's bad if even people that love chemistry are like, I don't want to do that. It's less math though, so that's the good news. If you're really not a friend with math, then it's a little less mathy. But yeah, it's more puzzle-ish. So, turn this off.